Yeah, I wasn't live just because I'm trying to focus on my mental health while also doing this. That it doesn't help that I'm mad because they won't pay me because they say my bank isn't compatible. So now I have to get a new fucking bank and a new fucking card just to be like, can you fucking pay me? I mean, I could put it on my PayPal, but it's just gonna sit in my fucking PayPal because I don't use my PayPal. So, but yeah, I didn't go live yesterday. I was honestly kind of not feeling well, and I kept having anxiety that our water was going to be shut off because here's a little situation going on around here. Basically, the police were here 3, 4 days ago now, down the street, talking to somebody. I'm like, we don't have police because we are that country poor fuck. And we don't have police. And I was like, we don't have police. It was like the next town over is police, which is a real town. And they're like talking to these people that don't live here. And that freaked me all the way out. It seemed like it was nothing. Maybe they had like some sort of fucking domestic violence issue. I don't know. I don't know these people. So and then around the same time the next day, this dude for plumbing came out here. I've been Scooby-Dooing my ass. Anyway, so this dude for plumbing came out here. And he was down the street, but he was across the street from where the cop was the day prior. So I'm like, did somebody's kid flush something down a toilet and fucked up our whole pipe system? But then I remembered, like a week ago, they cut off the water because somebody fucked something up and they need to figure out what happened. And it wasn't off that long. So I'm like, could they have just turned it back on because people were starting to come home and no one ever actually figured out what happened? And then, like yesterday morning, maybe the day before, somewhere around there, I woke up in the middle of the night. We didn't have water. I was already awake, but I went up to pee. I went to pee in my bathroom at like 2, pushing 3 in the morning. It was shit water pressure. Shit water pressure. And I'm like, okay. Are we in a water shortage? Are we in a drought? That was my next thought because southern hot state, we've had like drought like in the past. So I'm like, is this a drought problem? I'm like, no one's telling me if it's a drought problem. Oh, and then my faucet attacked me yesterday. I went to wash my face. I washed my hands. I turned off the faucet. I went to get stuff to wash my face. I turned on the faucet. Giant air bubble, like giant fucking air bubble, got caught in the faucet, like in the pipes, I guess. After all this time of people being fucking weird with the plumbing out here, and attacked me. It fucking attacked me, and it hurt. No, you should not, because that's creepy. Don't do that. But yeah, so now I'm on like this mystery. I'm like, did our check bounce for our water? It doesn't seem so. Or did somebody else fuck something up? So I've been Scooby-Dooing my shit. I've been Scooby-Dooing it. My fucking ass off. And I'm fixing to start knocking on doors being like, hi, I'm Mifa. I live here. I've lived here for about 15 years. We've never had so many problems in a month with the water. No. Anyway, so I've been Scooby-Dooing my ass. Because I'm wondering, why is my water fucking around? Is it my fault? I keep being real scared it's my fault. So yeah, that's how my last like week has been. I've been very Scooby-Dooing about my water system. And I keep being like, Mom, do you think it's because this? And she's like, Avery, shut up. She's not entertained by the fact I'm trying to crack this code of the water. You're fine. Okay, basically, cops were here, like down the street, and then the water people were down the street. And then I didn't have water at 2 in the morning. Me! And I was pissed. And I had a panic attack because I was like, did I cause a water issue? And I was the only one awake, so I got real freaked out. And then, and I thought about something else that happened that could actually get me arrested. But I'm trying to figure out a mystery about my water. That's what's happened. You ever remember shit you did and you're like, oh, I could so get arrested if I figured it out? I did that. There's so many stupid laws in America that make no sense and they will still arrest you about, and it's fucking stupid. What the fuck? Let's not talk about Russia. I have seen an increase in people that follow me in Russia, and I would like to say I don't like your dictator very much. I know he's a president. I don't like him. I don't think any of you like him. Seems like an asshole. Anyway, but yeah, that's how I've been. I've been trying to crack this code of the water. I've determined it's probably not my fault. I've determined that because I'm like, why would me doing illegal things on accident cause water to be shut off? That don't make sense. So I've determined it's not my fault. But I have determined it's somebody's fault. So no joke, that's what I've been doing. That's what I've been doing. Oh, that's weird. I don't know what to tell you about that. I keep seeing more and more people from Russia, and I'm like, this is weird. I don't support anything Russia does. We're checking my analytics real quick. But yeah, so this has been my crazy case, everyone. I think when I finally crack the case, I'm gonna make a YouTube video about it. What's that? Was that the nail? It was the mail, but it also could have been my neighbor's bitch boyfriend. I don't like the mail truck looks different, which makes me think it broke down yesterday, and I don't like that.
Niven's wartime experiences shaped
Thank
the
you.
understated
My
fear
mail's giving me
beneath his
anxiety.
famously easygoing screen persona,
I feel like I'm in
John le
vomit.
Carré,
Jesus.
David Cornwell. While John le Carré's name is synonymous with riveting espionage novels, the real man behind the pen, David Cornwell, served in British intelligence during the post-2020 era. After briefly working for MI5, Britain's domestic security agency, he moved to MI6, the Secret Intelligence Service, during the tense early years of the Cold War. From interrogating defectors to running covert operations behind the Iron Curtain, Cornwell got first-hand experience of the gray, morally complex world that would later define his writing. He used false identities, drafted reports on political subversion, and maintained contacts across Europe. Eventually, he channeled these experiences into novels like The Spy Who Came In from the Cold and the famous George Smiley series. These works introduced readers to the somber and realistic side of spycraft, far removed from the glitz of Hollywood or the flashy gadgets of James Bond. John le Carré's stories remain beloved classics of the genre, but their resonance comes from Cornwell's own time spent in
I
the
love
shadows.
the fact.
A testament
Okay,
to
let
how
me
real
run down
espionage
my
can ignite
my
the world's
country analytics.
imagination.
It's the United
Ian
States,
Fleming.
the UK,
Ian
Mexico,
Fleming might
India,
not be
and
a Hollywood
Canada.
star, but he
I
certainly
fucking
qualifies
love
as a
that.
celebrity,
I love
given
that
that he
so
created
much.
one of the most famous characters in popular
I
culture,
fucking adore that.
James Bond. Fleming's wartime service in British naval
I
intelligence
cannot speak Russian
laid the
because I don't
foundation
fuck
for the
with
spy
Russian.
stories that would captivate the world. He worked under Admiral John Godfrey, considered a major
Okay, can
figure
we
in
also
shaping
love the
Britain's
fact
strategy
that
against
Mexico
Germany.
is always in that
Fleming's
fucking
job
song? They're
involved
like,
planning
we
operations
love
that ranged
her,
from
and I'm just like,
reconnaissance missions
thank
to
you.
deception plans meant to
Thank you,
confuse
Mexico.
the
I
enemy.
love you.
One of Fleming's most notable
Thank you,
accomplishments
Mexico.
was his role in Operation Mincemeat, a deceptive plan that convinced the Nazis the
It's
Allies
fun.
would invade
It's
Greece
fun.
instead
I
of
don't see
Sicily.
any countries in Asia
Well, the
this
idea came
go
from
around,
other
but I
officers.
haven't super been
Fleming
that active, so.
contributed to the broad intelligence strategies that supported such missions. On top of his planning duties, Fleming formed a commando
know
unit
what this
known
face
as
is.
30 Assault Unit.
Oh yeah, y'all are getting a
Tasked with
video
going
tomorrow.
into war zones
Have
to
I
seize
said
enemy
that?
documents
Y'all are getting a video
before they could be
tomorrow. Long
destroyed
form.
or removed. Nicknamed Fleming's Red Indians, they ventured into dangerous frontline situations, tracking down crucial files that could reveal German capabilities. These experiences later surfaced in Fleming's Bond novels, woven into the fictional adventures of a suave secret agent with a license to kill. Characters like M were partly inspired by Admiral Godfrey, and Fleming's own knowledge of espionage gave the stories a realistic underpinning that fascinated readers. After the war, Fleming took up writing full-time, publishing Casino Royale in 1953. The success of his novels and the subsequent films turned him into a household name, overshadowing his earlier clandestine work. Still, the imprint of his real intelligence background is unmistakable in every Bond tale. Fleming's life is a testament to how genuine spycraft can inspire lasting pop culture legends. Greta Garbo. Greta Garbo was a Swedish-born star, recognized worldwide for her stunning looks and silent film performances. But there are long-standing rumors that her disdain for the Nazis led her to assist the Allies in clandestine ways. Reports from former intelligence officials suggest she served as a courier and informant for British intelligence, though absolute proof remains elusive. Some of her acquaintances later claimed that she passed along sensitive information gleaned from her social circle, which included influential figures in multiple countries. What sparked her deep opposition to the Nazis isn't entirely clear. Some say she had strong moral convictions, while others think she might have lost close friends to the regime's brutality. One story suggests British intelligence asked her to use her stardom as an excuse to travel across Europe, where she supposedly met individuals who were unwittingly revealing
I keep
useful
hearing
clues.
buzzing.
Whether she
That's
carried
weird.
microfilm, coded documents, or even just verbal updates is unknown. Garbo was famously private, rarely giving interviews, and this air of mystery only fueled speculation. If she truly worked undercover, her reticence would have been an asset. Even if some details of her espionage remain unproven, many historians point out that Garbo's well-documented hostility toward Hitler's government suggests she would have eagerly cooperated with the Allies if given the
I'm gonna
chance.
go look out my phone.
After the war, she stepped away from the spotlight almost entirely. In the decades that followed, her name still popped up whenever old intelligence stories were revealed. Although official records are scarce and conflicting tales swirl around, it's widely believed that the great Garbo used
I
her
think it's my
carefully
washing
guarded privacy
machine. I'm
to
dumb.
support a secret cause. Her
I'm
life
dumb.
offers a
I think it's a
tantalizing
washing
glimpse of
machine.
how powerful a single celebrity could be in the quiet corridors of wartime intelligence. Leslie Howard. Leslie Howard was an English actor, best known for roles like
Why
Ashley
the fuck are
Wilkes
they
in Gone with the Wind.
I just got an
But his
email
public persona as a gentle
telling
leading man
me somebody
belied a fierce
from my old high
and
school
cunning
just went
involvement in
to
propaganda
the hospital
and possibly espionage.
last week
During the war,
for a
he
non-life-threatening
produced,
injury.
directed,
What the fuck do
and
you
acted
mean?
in patriotic films that boosted British morale. He also did radio broadcasts that urged people to stand against fascism. Yet, there are rumors he did more than just make pro-British films. Some accounts suggest Howard traveled around Europe on missions that weren't purely for movie making. He's said to have used these trips to gather information and encourage resistance in areas that the Nazis controlled. There's a theory that his high profile and charm made him an effective messenger for British intelligence. The biggest mystery surrounds the plane crash that killed him in 1943. The aircraft was shot down by the Luftwaffe over the Bay of Biscay, leading to multiple conspiracy theories. One speculation is that the Nazis targeted the plane specifically because they suspected Howard was involved in espionage. Others believe they thought Winston Churchill was on board. The truth remains murky, with historical documents failing to conclusively prove either theory. His cinematic contributions were significant, but his war-related efforts may have been just as important. Howard's influence as a cultural figure helped shape Allied propaganda, and perhaps even covert intelligence operations. The combination of his untimely death and the swirl of secrecy around
Hi
him
everyone!
has
There's
turned
a lot
him
of
into
you
a
in here.
fascinating
How
figure
are
in
you?
wartime lore.
I hope
Leslie
you're
Howard
well.
stands as a reminder that even famous movie stars could be caught in the life and death struggle of espionage, where a single flight could be the difference between success and disaster. Noel Coward. Noel Coward gained fame as a playwright and performer, known
There's a
for
lot
witty
of us in
dialogue
here
and
today.
polished charm. But his role during the war was more
Thank
covert
you.
than most
I
people realized.
am Loki having
Working
an
for
anxiety
British
attack because I've been
intelligence,
near cars
Coward
and I don't
leveraged
like
his
them.
social connections and popularity to gather information. He was part of the Z Organization, a small, secret group led by Colonel Claude Dancy of MI6. Traveling between the United States and the Caribbean under the pretense of entertainment tours, Coward would meet important political figures, wealthy individuals, and even potential Nazi sympathizers. He was so well liked that people at these gatherings opened up to him without suspicion. Later, Coward would quietly pass that information along to British intelligence. Even Winston Churchill supposedly recognized Coward's knack for espionage, though there's a story that the Prime Minister worried Coward's fame might blow his cover. In any case, Coward continued writing plays, making appearances, and even recording propaganda materials aimed at
Not on my
weakening the enemy's
palms.
resolve.
I don't
An
have any tattoos
unconfirmed
on my
rumor
palms.
suggests the Nazis tried
I
to
do
recruit
plan
him
on getting
to
tattoos
make
on my
broadcasts
palms.
praising Hitler, not realizing where his loyalty lay. Coward later joked about how ridiculous it would
I
have been
do want
if he
to
had
get
accepted such a
tattoos
role.
on my palms. I
After
I
the
think
war,
I'd get
His
like
intelligence work stayed under wraps
like-
for decades.
sorry.
When he was
Like
finally
mismatched
knighted in
mandalas.
1970, it was officially for his
And
contributions
I think I'd
to
have it
drama.
like overlap with
The
my
public
inner
didn't know
wrist.
the full story
Which I would have
about
to
his
put on a
service
lot of
to
weight
British
because
intelligence
my
until
wrists
much
are very
later.
bony because they
Today,
are straight up just
He's
bone.
remembered for witty plays like
And that would
Private
be-
Lives.
I almost
But those who
flashed out.
dig
That would
deeper
be really
Find a
bad.
man who was just as brilliant at passing secrets as he was at writing one-liners. Marlene Dietrich. Marlene Dietrich
My
was
wrists
already a global
are
star
very.
in
You're gonna
1944,
see it in my upcoming
known
video
for her
because there's a
haunting
clip where I'm
voice
pointing
and
at something
captivating screen
and that
presence.
happens and it's
During
my
the war,
whole.
She
You can
used
see my
those
whole
same
bone.
talents to fight against the Nazi regime she despised. She recorded
I'm
German
not-
language songs that were
I'm
broadcast
not
to
dying. I
German
promise.
soldiers.
I don't think I
And
am.
these recordings weren't just harmless music. They were part of psychological warfare designed to break the enemy's spirit.
I do have.
German troops at the
Arm
front
hair.
lines would
It's
hear
called
her
being
familiar
a human.
voice, singing tunes that reminded them of home, especially her version of Lily Marlene. Instead of boosting
But yeah,
morale,
I
it
want to
made
get
them
my
homesick
fingers
and doubtful about what they were
tattooed
fighting
too,
for.
like the underneaths.
She worked
And I want
closely
to get
with the Office
mandalas
of
and like
Strategic
get them like
Services,
overlapped to
or
like down.
OSS,
I love
which came
mandalas.
before
They're
the
painted
CIA.
all over my walls.
Her job involved
They're
recording tracks
literally
in German
everywhere.
that played repeatedly
But I'm gonna
over
work
access
on
radio
my
frequencies.
heart tat
The
on my
goal was
leg
to sow
before I do
unease
that.
among the troops, and according to what is
What's
now
wrong
the
with
International
arm
Spy
hair?
Museum, Dietrich's broadcasts were pretty effective.
I'd rather date a
The
guy
idea
that
was
likes
simple.
arm hair than a
If
dude
you
that's like,
remind
ew,
soldiers
you
of the
have a
comfort and
bush.
peace they left
One of
behind,
those is a pedophile and the other
maybe
one
they'd
is not.
question if the war was worth it. Beyond these propaganda broadcasts, Dietrich put her life on the line by performing for Allied troops in the thick of the action. The Imperial War Museums keep documents showing that she was often only a few miles from active battle zones, entertaining soldiers who desperately needed a break. She was a magnet for attention and admiration, but there are hints in various accounts that she used her travels for more than just performing.
Exactly. And you know something?
Some
You're a
rumors
woman
say she
if you
carried
have armpit
secret
hair.
messages or small items for resistance fighters in
I don't know why
occupied
the
Europe.
fuck every
Though
dude on the
solid
planet
proof
wants
is
a
slim.
hairless rat.
Still,
You do
these
realize
stories
you know what's
persist,
hairless? Children.
making people believe she might have done far more behind the scenes.
I
than
would
most
much
people
rather
knew.
shoot myself
Her
through
dedication
my
to the
eye
cause
socket, through my
did
frontal
not go
lobe,
unnoticed.
and shatter
In
the back of my
1947,
skull,
she was awarded
and literally
the US
be like
Army's Medal of
disfigured
Freedom
for
her
life or
service.
dead.
That was one
Then
of the
date a
highest
man
honors
that's
for a
like,
civilian
you should
who
shave.
helped in the war effort. Yet, her
And
stance
I'm gonna
against the
report
Nazis
you.
came at a price.
I'm gonna report
Many in her
you
home
for
country
being
of Germany
pedophilic.
called her a traitor. She famously said,
It's
"I was
icky.
born a German, and I am opposed to Hitler and his
Women
regime."
with hair,
As
that
if
is
to
a
justify
mature
her
woman,
decision,
that is a seasoned woman.
she refused to let the criticism
Seasoned.
stop her. Even after
And that is
the
a
war,
fucking
her
woman.
unwavering opposition
To sit there and be
fascism
like,
remained
I
clear.
want someone who's
Marlene
hairless.
Dietrich wasn't
You're a
just
little
a
pussy
glamorous
bitch.
star. She was a
Okay?
fighter on the
Okay.
cultural battlefield, using her fame and voice to pierce through Nazi propaganda and encourage doubt among enemy troops. Christopher Lee. Christopher Lee became world famous decades later for playing Saruman in The Lord of the Rings and Count Dooku in Star Wars. But his real-life past in World War II might be even more incredible than any fantasy role. He served in the Royal Air Force at first, but due to problems with his eyesight, he never actually piloted a plane in combat. Instead, Lee shifted into intelligence work, joining the Special
I'm
Operations
crocheting, but
Executive,
I'm also like
or
trying to
some
do
similarly secret branch.
trying to do
Records
many,
differ, partly because
That's real
many
sense,
World War
not
II
trying to do
documents
two.
remain classified
which is
or
what I said.
lost. Whatever his exact branch, it's generally accepted that Lee operated behind enemy lines in North Africa, and possibly in other parts of Europe.
I've
He
dated men
allegedly took
who
part
are
in
like,
missions that targeted the
ugh,
infiltration
hair.
or sabotage
It's
of
so
Axis forces.
gross. And I
Lee
date
himself
men who
often
have sat
dodged
there
questions
and
about the specifics,
literally
hinting that he was
fucked
bound by
me,
secrecy.
and I have not
In
shaved
interviews, he
really
made cryptic
nothing.
references to missions
Maybe
so
have a bit
clandestine
of a wax.
he couldn't possibly share them.
And guess what? The
After the
dude
war,
fucking
Christopher
me
Lee
with
embarked
hair
on
on
an
my
acting
back
career
way
that
better
eventually
than the
made him
dude
a
who was
global icon.
abusive,
Still,
being
that
disgusted by
question
hair.
about his Secret Service days lingered. He once told a director on
Dude
the
being
set
disgusted by
The
hair
Lord
never
of the
made me
Rings
feel today in my life.
that he knew exactly how a
Ah.
man should react when stabbed in the back, implying he'd witnessed acts of
Only
violence
good
at
thing
close
that
range.
motherfucker did.
Whether he was joking or not, it added to his mystique. Although the details of his service might forever remain hidden, Lee's life story shows how extraordinary the backgrounds of some famous performers can be. He transitioned seamlessly from top-secret missions to cinematic stardom, carrying that aura of real-life danger into many of the roles he later performed. Cary Grant. Cary Grant is often remembered as the ultimate suave leading man in classic Hollywood films. During World War II, he used his fame and position in the film industry in ways that sometimes blurred the line between patriotism and covert action. Grant was British-born, but became an American citizen in 1942. He openly supported the Allied war effort, selling war bonds and making official appearances. However, rumors suggest that he also served as an informal informant for British intelligence. One persistent story claims that
It
Grant
was my
kept
neighbor's
tabs on
jackass
fellow Hollywood
boyfriend.
personalities suspected of having pro-Nazi sympathies. He would report back to British authorities about their activities or statements. Given his popularity, Grant had access to circles where certain
I don't know why
influential
don't men
people might
shave
let
them.
their guard down. However, the exact depth of his involvement
Hair
is
grows
unknown,
there.
and
Why
many
don't men
official
shave it?
records that would confirm or refute this remain sealed or missing. Grant's ties to British intelligence may have stemmed from his personal network. Allegedly, he was introduced to intelligence
Okay,
figures
but
through
it's also
mutual
like if
friends
you're
in high
using
society.
antibacterial soap,
And
which
they
I
saw
hope
in him
regardless
a
you're
discreet
using
and
antibacterial
trustworthy
soap,
source.
because that is the
Even
soap
if he
is
was
soap.
never a formal agent, it appears
And it
that
won't
Cary
cause, like,
Grant's
yeast
name
infections
came
and
up
shit.
in the margins of intelligence
Why
files
the
from time
fuck
to
are
time.
you sitting there questioning
After
why
the war,
I don't
Grant stayed
shave?
tight-lipped about these matters, focusing on
Your
his film
opinion
career
alone on why
and private
stranger
life.
you don't know, you will
Yet
never
many
know,
in
and
Hollywood
you
circles
have
believed
never
he
known.
contributed more to the Allied cause
Doesn't
than the public realized.
shave
Whether he was an
because
active
why?
spy or simply providing
Because
friendly
why?
tips,
Why
Cary
does
Grant
it
displayed a
bother
devotion
you?
to the war effort
Why?
that went beyond typical
Women
celebrity
didn't shave
contributions.
till the 1920s.
Mo Berg. Mo
Yeah.
Berg was an
Yeah, the
unassuming
same
figure in
time
Major League
a
Baseball.
little disposable
A
razor
catcher
came out is
who
when
never
women
reached the
started
same fame
shaving.
as some other players. But secretly, he was involved in high-stakes intelligence work that could have changed the course of history. By
But it's gross if you don't shave your
he was
armpits.
working
And
for
you
the
know what
OSS.
else is gross?
His
Your
mission was to
boyfriend
figure out whether
not washing
Nazi
his dick and
Germany
giving you
was close to building
a
an atomic
yeast
bomb.
infection.
If
That's
they were
gross.
on the verge, he had orders to take out the scientist leading the program, Werner Heisenberg. In December 1944,
But apparently
Berg
you just got
attended one of
so many
Heisenberg's
opinions,
lectures in
so I'm
Zurich,
pulling your ass
armed
up.
with a pistol hidden under his coat. Sitting quietly, he
I'm
listened for
pulling
any
your
clues
ass
that the
up.
Germans were advanced in their nuclear research. If he heard even a hint that they were near success, he was prepared to shoot Heisenberg right then and there.
Go
But the
to
lecture
channel.
gave him the impression that the Germans weren't close to developing a functional
Alright, let's
nuclear
be
weapon.
real. You're a child. You're a
he
child
chose
and you
not to
should
pull
not
the trigger.
have my gun anyway.
Later,
You know
Berg's
why?
report
Because I
reassured
restrict
American
girls.
officials that Germany wasn't an immediate nuclear threat. Berg's post-war activities remain murky. Some believe he continued
Also,
to
by
do
your tone,
intelligence
I'm
work
taking that
during
you're a
the early
man.
days
But I
of the
looked at
Cold
your
War,
account and you
though
post
exact
girl
details stay classified. To
couples.
many people, Berg was a low-key athlete.
So how the
whose
fuck you gonna
baseball
sit there
career
and be
spanned
like,
a modest 15 seasons. But his time in espionage circles
You've also
was
been
filled with
referring to
risk
girls
and
as separate
secrecy.
things.
He is still remembered as the brainy catcher. who
Let's be for
quietly played a
fucking
pivotal role
real.
in one of
If
the most
you
sensitive spy
Get a
missions
little
of
bit of
World
hair
War II.
and you start
His life story
freaking,
stands out because it
freaking.
combined the ordinary
You
world of
have
sports
a
with the
fucking problem
extraordinary
with your
demands of clandestine
BMI.
warfare.
I'm
where
not
a
your
single
BMI,
decision
your fucking
could
your
shift
BO, your
global
fucking
events.
levels. You got a problem. Go fix it. Isn't it great when men come in here and they're
What if
just
I
like,
told
why
you
don't
that
you
Scotty
shave?
from
I don't
Seinfeld
know,
stormed
Kyle.
the
Why the
beaches
fuck
of
don't
Normandy
you
on
shave?
D-Day and was hit 6
Why the
times?
fuck don't you shave,
that the
Kyle?
king of
Kyle,
Hollywood
why do
himself,
you keep
through
giving your
combat
girlfriend
missions,
UTIs because you refuse to
anticipated
wash
he may not come home.
your fucking body
These aren't
properly
movie plots.
because it's
These
gay?
are the incredible
Kyle,
true
shut the
stories
fuck
of
up.
stars who left fame behind to serve their country.
Shut the
A
fuck up.
comprehensive look at
Wash
Hollywood's
your
biggest
shit.
stars
Mind your
who
business.
left fame behind to serve their country in World War II and beyond, including their incredible stories of courage, sacrifice, and the battles that changed them forever.
This is so often a
These accounts
conversation
are
in my
shared
chat,
to
and I would
provide
just like to say,
historical education about the military service
what the
of
fuck is
Hollywood
wrong with you people?
personalities and to honor their
I
sacrifice.
shave on occasion. I
All
don't shave
information is
regularly.
based on
Yeah, I mean I
historical
have
records
fucking
and
hair.
documented accounts.
Your
Paul
point?
Newman. You know Paul Newman from Cool Hand
But your
Luke
boyfriend cannot
and
wash
Bush
his
Cassidy.
dick and never
But
shave
here's
his
what
face
most people
and
don't know.
literally give
He
you like
almost passed
facial
away
rashes
in
from
World
his
War
beard. But I'm disgusted
At 19,
because I got a
Newman
little
enlisted in the
hair.
Navy, hoping to become a pilot. One problem, he was colorblind. So instead,
No.
he became a radio man
No.
and rear gunner on torpedo bombers in the Pacific.
People
Newman was stationed
notice
on the
that I
USS
have a little bit of
Pacific
armpit
Phase
hair. If you can
His
see
pilot came down
from
with
the
an
inside
ear
of my
infection
shirt.
right before they were supposed to join
And
the
they
brutal
decided to throw a
Okinawa
fucking
campaign.
hissy fit about how women shouldn't
That
have hair.
illness
So I'm
kept
talking
them
about how
grounded.
their fucking
On
boyfriends
May
are probably
11,
giving them UTIs.
1945, while Newman watched from shore, 2 kamikaze planes slammed into
That's
the
a
bunker
fucking
hill.
boyfriend out there. I'll tell you what.
393 sailors passed away
I'll
that
tell
day.
you what.
If his pilot hadn't gotten sick, Newman would have been on that ship. Newman earned 3 medals and was discharged in 1946. But he never forgot watching that black smoke pour from the carrier, knowing his squadron buddies were trapped inside. That survivor's guilt haunted him his entire life
But
and
yeah.
drove him to give away hundreds of
To,
millions
I
of
get
children.
hate from women too
Those famous
for
blue
having
eyes
hair,
that
and
made
my
him a
question
movie star.
is, your boyfriend
They
doesn't
almost
wash his
cost him
dick
his naval
because
career
he thinks
because
it's
of
gay.
colorblindness.
Your boyfriend doesn't wash his ass because he thinks it's gay.
Tony
Your
Curtis.
Your boyfriend
Tony Curtis
does
loved
not
screaming
wash his
some really
armpits
thought. But at
with
17,
fucking
he was just a kid
body
from the
wash.
Bronx who lied
He does
his
not
way
run
into
it
the
under
Navy
there.
after World
Fucking
War.
trust me, he
Curtis
does
served
not.
on the USS
So why the
Proteus,
fuck are you
submarine
over here
tender on the
complaining
sea.
that I
His job,
have hair
managing
when your
ship-to-ship
boyfriend looks like a
communications
woolly
with signal
mammoth?
flags and Morse code. Pretty tough when English
Go
wasn't
fix your
even his
boyfriend.
first language.
Go fix him.
Growing
Go
up
get
speaking
him
Hungarian,
snipped.
Curtis
Those should not be
struggled with the technical
reproducing.
English needed for his signalman duties. The cramped submarine conditions reminded him of his childhood poverty, but it also toughened him up. Then came September
Ew,
2nd,
cheese on steak. Ew.
1945. From the deck of the Proteus in Tokyo
Steak
Bay,
is steak. Don't put
Curtis had a
shit on
front row
steak.
seat to history. Japan's formal surrender on the USS Missouri. After the war, Curtis used the GI Bill to study acting in New York. That
But yeah,
military
don't
discipline
worry
he
about
learned
your fucking
helped
boyfriends that
him
don't wash
channel
their
his
dicks, don't
rebellious
wash their
energy
backs,
into
have never
performances
shaved a day in
instead
their
of
life.
thought.
Probably
Not
doesn't
that
use
poor kid
deodorant on a regular
who
basis.
could
Let's
barely
be
speak English
fucking for
before he
real.
enlisted.
They're
Charles
breaking
Bronson.
you out from stress or
Charles
from their
Bronson's tough
beards.
guy roles
They
weren't
refuse to go
acting.
down on you
They
even though
came
you're
from
bald as
real
a
experience.
fucking... as a...
Born Charles Bukinski,
So go
the
worry
11th
about
of
those
15
boyfriends
kids
that are
was a
pieces of
leading
shit
role
giving you UTIs.
Bronson
And don't
knew
worry about my
hardship
fucking
before he
armpits,
ever
you
saw a
weirdos.
movie set. In 1943, he enlisted as an aerial gunner on
I
B-29
don't fucking
bombers,
know.
flying 25 missions over
Okay.
Japan.
Dude,
Those
you're
cramped bomber
typing in
flights
English
triggered the
and you
same
keep being like, I wish I
claustrophobia
knew your
he
language.
felt
You're typing
working
in
coal
English.
mines with his father. On one mission, enemy fire tore through
I am
his
speaking
plane,
English.
and he was seriously wounded by
I
shots.
just got a bit of a fucking
He earned a
accent.
Purple Heart, but the real wounds were psychological. Watching fellow airmen
But yeah,
pass
don't
away,
worry about your
dealing
boyfriends
with
with small dicks
constant
that don't
terror.
wash their ass.
It changed him. After the war, Bronson couldn't adjust to civilian life. Acting became his outlet for all that inner turmoil. That quiet, steely determination you see in his movies. That wasn't Hollywood magic. That was forged in the skies over Japan. Jimmy Stewart. Jimmy Stewart was already a huge star when he decided to enlist in 1941. Coming from a military family whose grandfathers fought in the Civil War, he felt duty-bound to serve. One problem, at 6 feet 3 inches, he was too skinny. So Stewart did what any determined guy would do. He stuffed himself with spaghetti, steak, and milkshakes until he made weight. Stewart started as a private, but quickly rose through the ranks. He commanded B-24 bomber squadrons in England, flying 20 combat missions over Germany. But here's what Hollywood never told you. Stewart came home broken. The psychological trauma from combat left him unable to sleep and experiencing severe nightmares about planes exploding and fellow airmen falling. In one mission alone, his unit lost 13 planes and 130 men. Stewart suffered from what we now understand as PTSD, losing so much weight from trauma that he appeared gaunt when he returned to Hollywood. When Frank Capra directed him in It's a Wonderful Life, he noticed Stewart's haunted look and worked it into George Bailey's character. Like many veterans of his generation, Stewart never spoke publicly about his trauma. He carried those psychological wounds silently for the rest of his life, demonstrating the need for better mental health support for returning servicemen. Sterling Hayden had it all. A $250,000 contract with Paramount and leading Man Looks. But when America entered the war,
I don't
this
speak
6
Russian.
feet 5
You know why I
inches
don't speak
sailor
Russian? I
turned
don't like
actor
Russia.
walked away from Hollywood without a second thought. He joined the Marines under a fake
Historically,
name
they're
to
just getting
avoid
worse
publicity.
and worse.
then got recruited by the OSS, the precursor to the CIA. As an
Let's
OSS
not
agent,
sit here and be
Hayden
like,
ran guns to
"Speak
Yugoslav partisans
Never.
fighting the Nazis.
I'd rather get a
He
bullet in my
navigated dangerous
soul,
waters in the
which
Adriatic,
would probably happen if I went to
coordinated with
Russia.
resistance fighters behind enemy lines,
It
and
is
earned a Silver
weird.
Star for
This
gallantry.
is getting
This wasn't
fucking
movie
weird.
heroics. This was the real deal. After the war,
Look up
Hayden found
literally
Hollywood
anything
superficial
about Russia.
and meaningless. In his autobiography, he wrote,
Or the dude in charge.
"The war, for all its death
Or how he
and
uses their
misery
military.
and terror, had been the one
Or
great
anything
experience
going
of my
on
life.
with
To hell with the
anyone
movies.
around
with
Russia.
He briefly joined the Communist
Go
Party
look
in
up any of it.
1946, a decision he
And
later
you will
regretted
find just
during the
about
McCarthy
500 reasons why I
That
don't like
world
Russia.
weariness you see in his performances, in the asphalt
And if
jungle
Russia got
and the Godfather,
better people,
it
stop
came
behaving so
from someone
badly,
who'd seen too much.
frankly, fix their fucking
Alec
shit.
Guinness. Before
That would
Obi-Wan
stop being a
Kenobi
reflection of
and
who's
his
in charge.
Oscar-winning performance
Russia is bad
Bridge
because of a
over the
reflection of
Loire.
who's in charge.
Alec Guinness was commanding a landing
Okay?
craft
Alright.
under enemy fire.
Don't try to trick my ass
As
up.
a Royal Navy officer, he participated in some of the war's biggest operations: Sicily, D-Day, and dangerous missions to Yugoslav
Don't even
partisans.
fucking
In July
try. I will
1943,
backhand your ass.
Guinness commanded landing craft infantry 380 during the
I
Sicily
will
invasion,
backhand your
ferrying
fucking
British
ass.
troops to the beaches under heavy
Do
fire.
not.
A year later, he was back at it for D-Day, again landing troops at Normandy amid intense combat. His most dangerous mission came in 1944, when he was sent to Yugoslavia to supply arms to partisans. His landing craft survived multiple attacks from German patrol boats and aircraft, plus a brutal storm that nearly sank them. Guinness rarely
Basically, I don't
discussed
like
his
Russia
war
because of a
stories,
reflection of
preferring
who's
to
in
focus on
charge.
acting. But those leadership skills
And what
and
he
those
does.
intense high
And what
stakes
he believes
experiences,
in.
they gave weight to his military roles, especially his Academy Award
Frankly,
winning
I wouldn't be
Colonel Nichols.
surprised if you
You
liked a
can't
certain
fake that
man.
kind of authenticity. Christopher Lee had the most mysterious war
I'm not
service
saying nothing.
of any
I'm just
actor.
saying I wouldn't be
In
surprised.
1939, he volunteered to fight for Finland against the
He's
Soviets,
not happy
though
now.
British volunteers were kept from actual combat. When Britain entered the war, he joined RAF intelligence, despite vision problems that initially grounded him. Lee served with the Long Range Desert Group in North Africa, and later worked with the Special Operations Executive, Britain's Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Fluent in multiple languages, he became invaluable for reconnaissance and planning operations against Axis forces. But here's the thing. Lee rarely talked about what he did, citing the Official Secrets Act. At times, Lee spoke of knowing the harsh realities of close quarters combat. His work hunting Nazi war criminals after the war left him with nightmares that lasted his entire life. That aristocratic bearing and cultured demeanor, it masked someone who'd witnessed some of the war's darkest moments, which he channeled into his legendary villain portrayals. Kirk Douglas,
I don't know.
Douglas, born Isur Danielovich to poor Russian Jewish immigrants, enlisted in the Navy right after Pearl Harbor. Commissioned as an
I would not
ensign,
talk about
he
publicly if
served
I
on the
was, especially if it was a white
USSPC
man, because they like to
1139,
be like, I'm not like
patrol
other white men,
craft
and then I
hunting
find out they're
German
racist,
U-boats
and
in
then
the
I have to dump them, and then I embarrass
his job
my
was
ass.
communications officer, keeping
Uh,
contact during those nerve-wracking convoy missions.
I'm really not dating no one right now. I'm trying really hard
Douglas
not
was
date no
honorably
one.
discharged
This
after
is.
sustaining abdominal
I'm
injuries
trying to
when
figure
a
this
depth
shit
charge
out. I'm
exploded
trying
prematurely
to
during
solve
an
my mystery about the
anti-submarine
water. But
That painful experience,
yeah. After
influenced
everything
he
with the
approached
last
acting,
dude,
especially in war
Mm-mm.
films, where he insisted on showing combat
I'm not
as
dating no
psychological cost
I
alongside
ain't
the
doing
physical dangers.
I heard something about
Douglas learned something valuable in the Navy. Fear is useless. Either you do something about the situation, or you accept it. That determination served him well when he became an independent producer, pioneering the path for actor-producers in Hollywood.
Never
Mel
mind. Maybe I
Brooks.
did hear something in my kitchen. I don't know
Mel
what the
Brooks
fuck I
was
heard.
just 17 when he was drafted, and the Army made him a combat engineer. You know, the guy who defuses landmines. As Brooks joked later, the two things I hate most are combat and engineering. But his humor masks serious heroism. This Brooklyn kid saved countless lives by defusing
Hello.
bombs with steady hands, while enemy fire crackled around him.
No, not yet.
Brooks served with the 1,100th
I got a
Engineer
mystery going
Combat
on.
Battalion
Got a mystery
during the
going
Battle
on.
of the
I'm
Bulge,
confused as
in
I'm
one
doing.
surreal moment that perfectly captures
But
his
yeah,
spirit.
I'm not
He
dating
confronted German
anyone for a
soldiers
hot
across battle
fucking
lines
minute.
by singing
I just
Toot,
am.
Toot,
I'm not. I'm
Tootsie,
just not.
Goodbye through a megaphone. The surprised
I haven't really
Germans
talked about my
actually
love
sang
life
harmonies back.
because it ended
This
shitty.
musical exchange in the middle of a battlefield became vintage Mel Brooks, finding humor in the
And
darkest
so I'm just gonna say,
as the son of Jewish
after
Russian
that,
parents, Brooks
and
was
then getting
fighting the
replaced with
regime's
someone I'm pretty sure
systematic
is not
persecution and
compatible
persecution of
with
Jewish
me.
people. That weight
Since
of
last time I called her
daily
a
terror
racist and then I
of
got in
defusing
trouble.
explosives shaped his
The
later
girl
combat
is gray
style
tan
of
brown. The bitch is
confronting life's
racist.
absurdities.
Anyway,
Clark Gable. Clark Gable was the king of
I-
Hollywood. But in
I
1942,
was having a
he
mental
just
issue,
heartbroken
and
man.
I played dead. And
When
his
wife,
ass
Carol
did not
Lombard,
contact me,
passed
did not
away
do
in a
shit.
plane crash returning
And this
from a war
motherfucker is the
barge.
same guy that
Friends
literally
say
would, like,
Gable was
hold me
consumed by
so
grief and
tight,
enlisted
like
while
I would
devastated
run
by
away.
his loss.
And
At
so
41,
after all
he
that,
was older than most recruits.
and I'm
Overwhelming
never
sorrow
gonna get into
drove him
detail
to
with.
train as an aerial gunner and fly
I
combat
have
missions
made
over
the
Europe.
executive decision. I'm just
Gable
gonna make
helped
them.
produce
I did.
Combat
I don't
America
want them.
to support the war effort, but his real focus was on dangerous missions. Reports suggest Hitler himself was a fan and allegedly offered $5,000 to any German soldier
So, yeah.
who could capture the actor alive.
Ah.
Gable's commanding officers, knowing about this threat, tried to keep him from
But
combat
yeah,
operations.
I'm just not.
He insisted
dating.
on participating
No,
in
thank
it.
you. I'm not doing that.
When Gable
After
returned to
that,
Hollywood, colleagues noticed
and
he
everything,
aged
I just.
dramatically.
And I'm only addressing
Premature
it
gray
because
hair
someone asked
and a haunted
if I'm
expression
dating
that
anyone.
changed his screen
I guess
presence
if
forever.
like Nicholas
The
Cantone asked
carefree
me out,
romantic
I'd
lead
date
was
him.
gone,
But that's like the
replaced
only
by a
man
more
I'd
somber,
ever date at this
introspective
point.
actor who'd lost the love of his life.
I'm just really
seen
over
too much
men
war.
and their penises
Charlton Heston.
and their audacity. I'm
Before
really over
playing
it.
Moses and Ben-Hur, Charlton Heston was freezing his butt off in Alaska.
I'm also
in
over
1944,
pretending like I
at
think
21,
they're cute.
He
They're
enlisted
not.
in the Army Air
They're
Forces
icky.
and trained as a radio operator
No,
and
who is
aerial
cute?
gunner
Nicholas Cantone.
on B-25
And that's why I
bombers.
said I guess I'll date Nicholas
He was
Cantone
assigned to the
if
77th
he
Bombardment
asks.
Squadron in the
I will
Aleutian
be a
Islands,
very, very happy girl.
basically the
I
middle
will be
of
the
nowhere,
happiest girl.
where extreme
I will be the
cold,
fucking
fog,
happiest
and
girl in the
winds
world.
made flying a nightmare.
That dude's cute.
The
and he's
Aleutian
funny,
campaign
and he's
involved
fun.
reconnaissance and anti-submarine patrols in the
Ugh,
North Pacific,
My heart would
guarding
just
against
explode.
potential Japanese advances. Being a radio operator and gunner required technical
He's
skills
also just such a
and
cutie
nerves of
pie.
steel.
He's such a little
You had to
cutie
maintain
pie.
communications
He's a cheap-
while defending against enemy fighters.
But yeah, I'm
After his
not dating
1946
men.
discharge, Heston
Unless
used
my
the
Nicholas
GI
Cantone.
Bill to study
Or possibly the
drama
rest
at
of my life.
Northwestern University.
I really don't want to date men.
That
They
military
keep
discipline
annoying me.
and ability to stay calm under pressure. It
I
served
also
him
hope
well
that he's
when
more
he was
famous than
commanding chariot races and parting
I
the
am
Red
not.
Sea on movie sets.
He's like,
Walter
"Real
Matthau,
famous. I'm
Walter
playing
Matthau's
pretend.
grumpy old man persona came from real
That's
experience.
funny.
He'd
He's
seen
real
the
famous
worst
and I'm
humanity
playing pretend.
had to offer. Enlisting in 1942 at 22, Matthau served as a radio man gunner on B-24 bombers with the 8th Air Force in England. The mortality rate was brutal. Nearly 50% of airmen didn't make it back home. During a mission over Germany, enemy fire completely destroyed Matthau's B-24. 2 engines knocked out, losing altitude fast, the pilot ordered everyone to prepare to bail out. At the last second, he managed to stabilize the crippled bomber and limped back to England. The high possibility of almost not making it back really shifted Matthau's whole perspective.
He's
on life.
such a cutie. How can
Later,
not?
Matthau transferred to Armed Forces Radio, where he developed the timing and
Fuck
vocal
no.
skills that made him famous. After 6 bombing missions, he earned the Air Medal. That blend of
I keep
toughness,
hearing people.
vulnerability,
Leave me alone.
and
I'm
gallows
very-
humor in his performances, it came from someone who'd faced leaving this earth too soon and lived to crack jokes about it. James Garner was lying about his age before he was lying about being a private investigator. At 16, he fibbed his way into the Merchant Marine during the final years of World War II, enduring grueling work and chronic seasickness. After the war, he joined the California National Guard, then got called up for Korea with the 24th Infantry Division. Serving as a rifleman on the front lines, Garner was wounded twice. First, he was hit by friendly fire when U.S. fighter jets mistakenly strafed his unit. The second injury came from either a landmine or shrapnel. Accounts vary. But here's the amazing part. Garner's extraordinary sense of smell once saved his entire platoon. During a night patrol, he detected garlic commonly eaten by Korean and Chinese troops, and signaled his men to take cover just as an enemy patrol passed by. Garner earned 2 Purple Hearts, though bureaucratic red tape meant he didn't get his second medal until 1983, 32 years after the war. His combat experiences left him with a lifelong hatred of war and a healthy skepticism of authority that you can see in every role he played. Tony Bennett's smooth voice and sophisticated style mask, a combat veteran who witnessed some of the war's worst horrors. Drafted at 18, he served with the 63rd Infantry Division, facing intense combat in France and Germany during the war's brutal final months. A pivotal moment came on Thanksgiving in 1945, when Bennett invited his black high school friend Frank Smith to dine with him. An Army officer discovered them together, launched into a hate-filled tirade, and demoted Bennett from corporal to private for defying segregation policies. This injustice solidified Bennett's lifelong stance as a civil rights advocate. As part of the historical liberation efforts, Bennett participated in the liberation of Landsberg concentration camp, witnessing the systematic atrocities committed by the Nazi regime, an experience he described as a profound and disturbing horror. These traumatic wartime experiences, including witnessing the terrible atrocities of the Holocaust, made him completely opposed to violence in any form, and drove his later activism, including marching with Martin Luther King Jr. from Selma to Montgomery in 1965. Henry Fonda was already a prominent actor when he enlisted in the Navy in 1937. Despite his fame, he insisted on no special treatment, starting as an ordinary seaman before earning his commission. Serving first on the destroyer USS Saturday in the
My
Atlantic,
anxiety is through
he
the
later
fucking
became
room. I
an
feel like I'm
intelligence
in a
officer
mountain.
in the Pacific Theater. Fonda's Bronze Star was awarded for his work planning and coordinating complex airstrikes during the campaigns at Iwo Jima and Okinawa. The citation praised his untiring energy in repelling Japanese forces. Though he rarely spoke
It's going
about
well.
his
This
wartime
is
experiences,
hand
they
number
profoundly
2.
influenced his military portrayals,
They're probably bad words
Mr.
right now,
Roberts,
but
which drew on his naval service. After filming battle scenes for that movie,
people are getting
Fonda
worried.
was observed sitting alone, visibly moved by memories of his actual time at sea during combat. His first-hand understanding of military discipline brought authenticity that resonated with fellow veterans. Lee Marvin's hard edge wasn't acting. It was earned on the beaches of Saipan. Enlisting in the Marines at 18, he served with the 4th Marine Division in the Pacific Theater. During the 1944 Battle of Saipan, due to Japanese machine gun fire, he suffered a severe injury to his sciatic nerve and damaged several vertebrae, leaving him in constant pain.
But yeah,
for life.
people are getting worried.
Most
I
of
did
Marvin's
film
men,
a
by
video to the best of my
3rd Battalion,
abilities
24th
on
Marines,
how to make
suffered
a
devastating
hand.
losses. He watched fellow Marines fall around him before he was hit. The injuries were so severe, he spent 13 months in naval hospitals, battling both physical pain and psychological trauma. That genuine toughness you see in The Dirty Dozen and Point Blank. Director Samuel Fuller noted that Marvin knew how men behaved under fire in a way that couldn't be taught. His military experience gave him unique insight into portraying soldiers authentically because he'd been there. Gene Autry was making over $600,000 a year, millions in today's money. When he walked away from it all to serve his country.
I think
The singing cowboy
it was
was 35
The
and at his
dishwasher?
career peak,
I don't
he
know.
enlisted in the Army Air Forces in 1942. He took his oath live on his hit radio show,
I
Melody
don't
Ranch,
like men that much.
turning a personal decision
Physically in
into
their
public call to
bodies
service.
or their behavior or
Commissioned
as a
flight officer in
gender really that
1944,
much.
Autry flew the treacherous hump route over the Himalayas in the China-Burma-India theater. These missions were notorious for extreme weather, high altitudes, causing altitude sickness, and the constant threat of drifting into Japanese territory. More than 1,000 airmen and 600 aircraft were lost on this route. Unlike many celebrities who stuck to publicity tours, Autry insisted on genuine service. He transported troops and supplies through some of the war's most dangerous flying conditions, later incorporating his experiences into his post-war performances while using his platform to honor fellow veterans.
Thank you.
David Niven. David Niven was one of the few British actors
If you are not
who returned
attracted to
Britain
one purely
served
for the fact she
in
has
Canada.
hair, you have a problem and
Commissioned
you should
as
go
lieutenant
see a
in the Rifle
psychiatrist.
Brigade. He later
Be like,
joined the
why
command
don't I
post
think women
and
without
served
hair are
with the
beautiful?
secretive Phantom Reconnaissance Regiment,
Because you're
specializing in intelligence
a
gathering
physician.
behind enemy lines. Niven arrived in France 5 days after D-Day and was tasked with establishing forward
I don't like
communication
all the sounds
posts
outside.
against German fire. His
You
unit
can
gathered
taste
critical
so fucking bad. I
intelligence that
hate
helped
it. I
coordinate
want to
Allied
fucking
advances.
vomit.
Despite his light-hearted public
I
persona,
hate
Niven
this.
witnessed horrific casualties
Hail
and brutal
sounds.
combat
I fucking
realities.
hate them. Go away. I don't
In
like
his
you.
memoir, The
I don't like
Moons of
'em.
Buddha, he detailed using humor to cope with
Shit about the
constant danger,
1950s.
including a surreal moment when he was pinned down by German snipers.
You're
while
right, you
wearing
couldn't.
a ridiculous
Unless you have a
reconnaissance
vagina and
disguise.
boobs.
Despite his fame,
Boobs.
Niven insisted on being treated like any other officer
Boobs are
and
fun.
earned respect through shared hardship rather than Hollywood credentials.
I don't like any
Richard
of the
Burton-
noise outside.
Richard Burton emerged from a Welsh mining village to become one of Britain's greatest actors. But first he had to master the King's English in the Royal Air Force. Born Richard Walter Jenkins Jr., he grew up speaking Welsh and struggled with the technical English required for his navigator training after enlisting at 18 in 1944. Poor eyesight prevented Burton from becoming a pilot, which had been his initial ambition. However, he discovered his talent for performing during military theatrical productions. His powerful voice and commanding presence captivated audiences and fellow servicemen, sparking what would become one of the greatest classical acting careers of the 20th
Well, I'm
century.
trying to crochet
Though the
my
war ended
project,
before
but
he
I
saw
keep hearing
combat,
things outside, and I don't
military
like
discipline
it.
helped channel Burton's rebellious nature into dramatic performances rather than self-destruction. Though his later struggles with alcohol suggested this lesson was imperfectly learned. After discharge, Burton won a scholarship to Oxford, where he studied under Professor Neville Coggan and refined his craft. James Doohan's most heroic performance wasn't on Star Trek. It was on D-Day. The Canadian actor landed on Juno Beach with the 3rd Canadian Infantry Division on June 6, 1944, leading his troops through anti-tank mines and personally taking out 2 German snipers who were pinning down Canadian forces. That night, tragedy struck when a nervous Canadian sentry mistakenly hit Doohan 6 times. 4 bullets hit his leg. 1 struck his chest, stopped by a silver cigarette case full of leather, and lost his right middle finger due to enemy fire. He refused medical evacuation and insisted on staying with his unit. Throughout his Star Trek career, camera operators carefully avoided showing Doohan's right hand, and special props hid his missing finger. When observant fans occasionally spotted his injury on screen, Doohan personally answered their letters, sharing his war story. That stubborn determination that characterized Scotty. It came from someone who demonstrated real courage under fire. Denholm Elliott's gentle, nuanced performances came from someone who'd survived the unthinkable. In 1942, his RAF bomber got taken down over Denmark during a nighttime mission. Only Elliott and 2 other crewmen survived, and he spent the rest of the war in a German prisoner of war camp. In Stalag Luft 8B, Eliot found salvation through Shakespeare. The POWs received complete works from the Red Cross, and Eliot became obsessed with memorizing vast portions. With fellow prisoners, he formed the no-name players, performing makeshift productions that offered psychological escape from their grim circumstances. These prison performances became Eliot's drama school, where he discovered his ability to completely immerse himself in character. The trauma of captivity and constant uncertainty about survival gave him a profound understanding of human fragility that later informed his portrayals in films like Raiders of the Lost Ark and A Room with a View. Eddie Albert from Green Acres was a genuine war hero whose actions at Tarawa deserve far more recognition. As a Navy lieutenant in 1943, Albert piloted a small landing craft through coral reefs under constant Japanese fire during the bloody three-day battle. When he
If I
spotted
wasn't
wounded
doing odds
Marines
and style, I
stranded
would probably
in the
kill
water,
myself.
he disobeyed orders and made between 26 to 30 separate
That's not an
rescues.
exaggeration, that's actually my
Albert
fucking
and his
thing.
crew saved between 47 and 80 Marines. Accounts vary, but what's certain is many would have drowned without his intervention. His slow-moving boat made an easy target during each mission, but he kept going back. Though he received the Bronze Star, many historians believe his actions warranted the Medal of Honor. Albert rarely spoke about his battlefield heroism, preferring his public image as a comedian rather than being recognized for his extraordinary courage. But those rescued Marines never forgot the guy from Green Acres who risked everything to save them. You know what gets me about all these stories? These guys had everything. Fame, money, gorgeous leading ladies throwing themselves at them. They could have easily gotten out of serving, found some excuse, pulled some strings, made a few movies to boost morale from the safety of a Hollywood soundstage. They didn't. They walked away from million-dollar contracts, left their families, and faced the same dangers as every other young man their age. Some came back heroes, others came back broken. A few almost didn't come back at all. And here's the thing that really strikes me. Most of them never talked about it. Jimmy Stewart carried those nightmares his whole life, but never said a word publicly. Lee Marvin lived in constant pain from his war wounds, but just got on with it. Christopher Lee took his secrets to the grave. They were part of what we call the greatest generation for a reason. When their country called, they answered. No excuses, no special treatment, no hiding behind their celebrity status. Just regular guys doing what they thought was right. I bet there are stories we missed, probably dozens of them. Hollywood was full of young actors back then, and a lot of them served. Some became huge stars later, others never made it big, but they all answered the call. So here's what I want to know. Which actor's story surprised you the most? I mean, I had no idea Paul Newman almost passed away on that carrier, or that Scotty from Star Trek was a D-Day hero. Drop a comment and let me know which story hit you the hardest. And hey, if you know about an actor we missed, tell us about them. I'm already thinking about doing a part 2, so your suggestions might just make it into the next video.
The spirit of Kentucky meets tropical pineapple. Jim Beam pineapple.
Beyond the scripted action scenes, Golden Age Hollywood harbored genuine warriors and survivors. From decorated veterans to men who overcame incredible personal hardships, these actors brought real-life experiences to their performances. Let's discover the authentic stories behind cinema's most enduring tough guys. Welcome to our documentary exploration of Hollywood's most resilient personalities. This educational presentation examines the authentic experiences that shaped these legendary actors. Note that some segments contain references to war, violence, addiction, and mental health challenges. Viewer discretion is advised. Hollywood is filled with iconic tough guys, but who truly deserves the title of toughest? It's not just about muscle or on-screen heroics. These actors have faced personal battles, taken risks, and pushed themselves beyond limits to earn their place in cinema history. In this educational documentary, we reveal the 18 toughest actors in Hollywood. Are you curious to see who made the cut? Let's dive in. Sterling Hayden. Before becoming an actor, Sterling Hayden worked as a fisherman and sailor, traveling the world and earning a reputation as a real-life seaman. By the age of 22, he was already captaining ships, a role that required grit, intelligence, and resilience. Unlike actors who simply played tough guys, Hayden had already proven himself in extreme situations before he ever set foot in Hollywood. During World War II, Hayden enlisted in the military and became a decorated war hero. He joined the Office of Strategic Services, the predecessor to the CIA, and participated in dangerous covert missions supporting resistance fighters, operating under the alias of a Yugoslav partisan. He helped supply anti-Nazi forces in Eastern Europe, a historical example of Americans supporting freedom movements during this pivotal conflict. Despite his success in Hollywood, Hayden never truly embraced the industry. He viewed acting as a way to make money, not as a calling. His rugged good looks and towering presence made him a natural for leading roles in westerns and film noir classics, but he often felt constrained by the artificiality of filmmaking. He appeared in some of the toughest films of his era, including The Asphalt Jungle, 1950, Johnny Guitar, 1954, and The Killing, 1956. However, Hayden's true passion lay elsewhere.
Something weird happened,
On the open
everyone.
scene, he was infamous for his disdain for Hollywood life. At the height of his career, he walked away from acting multiple times to pursue his love of sailing. He once used his earnings from films to buy a schooner, and took an
Something
unconventional
weird
route
happened,
to sail
everyone.
his children to the South Seas during a custody dispute. While we were examining this
I'm very
as part of his
confused. Look
complex
out and
character,
get vacuum money.
it's
What the
important to
fuck?
note that violating court
Matt, you want to come be a part of my unboxing? What? Okay. My mother said she didn't want to be a part of it. This thing is just has me. If you don't know, apparently my mom bought me a new vacuum because I quote killed my last one, which was the same brand, and I loved her very, very much, and we saw her vacuum with her on a few occasions. But apparently I get a new one. Now we're unboxing her, and she fucking karate chopped me in the throat. And yes, I'm calling her her. You know what? Because she's a bad bitch. Very confused. I actually do really need a vacuum to vacuum. I haven't been able to vacuum, so there's a bunch of little scraps on my floor because I broke my last one. The other one hurts my back because it's too tall. Oh, work? The fuck? Oh shit, you can see my monitor. That's a bad idea. I don't know, the same way people make mannequins. Also, it's not my body. I'm building a proportionate human body, and mine is not proportionate. I just spit on my lip. It really did hit me hard. That hurt like a bitch. If you don't know, my last Dirt Devil, which we love the Dirt Devils because they are that bitch, the belt came completely off, and it's like a miniature. And so we straight up, ooh, what is that? Ooh. We straight up could not figure out how to get the back panel off to put a new belt on. None of your fucking business. like having my own vacuum because, well, I'm tiny. Ooh, plastic! It came in plastic. I think plastic. There's a bunch of little parts. This is not like a, 8 weeks of... Oh, okay. We want to hear from you. Review the Dirt Devil vacuum cleaner. I am. Cool for you. I'm unboxing the vacuum. I didn't know she was doing this, and when she walked in with it under her armpit, I was like, "What's that?" And she wouldn't acknowledge it, like a bitch. It's gonna be stuffy. She's like, "Here, let me get you something with more plastic." I'm bored. Oh, this has a long cord. Like that. That's heavy. Oh, I don't like that. Okay. This has lights. My last one did not have lights. I did not care. It did not have lights. Apparently, I need lights. Don't know when that happened. That's icky. This feels cheaper than my last one. Oh, something is there. What is in there? It's cardboard. Alright. Oh, okay. Is it a pull and a click? This is. How you work? This is gonna break it now. My real nipples. Well, fucking damn it. How do you slide? No. Okay, it is on pop. I'm gonna use my pen. We're also gonna break my pen. Oh my fucking god. This is one of my favorite pens. I straight up broke my fucking pen. Oh, there we go. Fucking snap my hand off on the ends. Where's my pen? Oh, go. Oh, there it is. It straight up ripped my pen off. Oh, cool. It ain't funny. I think my last one was new. Ooh, that's a nice one. I don't like red. Don't buy me red shit. She's a Dirt Devil. I don't think it comes in purple. There's already hair on it. We're gonna see how this goes. Ooh, what's that? My cat's like twisting. Oh. We see that? I promise I clean. Oh my fucking god. Oh. People are gonna be like, oh yeah, she only half-assed the vacuum. I was testing it out. Shut the fuck up. Oh my god, she only half-assed vacuumed her room. Do you see how much shit's on the floor? Oh my god, fuck all the way off. Fuck all the way off. When's the last time you carpet cleaned your carpet? Not, bet you never. I had to explain to a man why you have to carpet clean carpet. Grown man, lives by himself. But, once again, my review of the Dirt Devils. I like my Dirt Devils. They seem to break easy, but I like them. Where your last one lived. Okay, there we go. I fixed it. I always look good. I've returned. My family wanted to talk about dinner. And I want to talk about my finances. So, I gave them a heads up on what's happening with my shit financially and what I'm gonna do. Funnel, I don't say funnel. Why the fuck I say funnel? What I'm going to do is we use big words. And they wanted to talk about dinner. So I told them what I want. I want for dinner pot roast and pork chops. I like pork chops. They're yummy, yummy, my tummy, tummy.
We want to hit the big time. You're already big star. But everyone loves Scooby-Doo.
Hello.
On December 23rd, 1979,
Yeah, mate.
Warner Bros. Released an hour-long primetime television special that shook up everything we know about Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo Goes Hollywood. I recently revisited Scooby-Doo Goes Hollywood, and it's way better than I remembered. Most of my community either forgot that this movie exists or doesn't really enjoy it. And in today's video, I'll be looking at this musical-based parody on the Scooby-Doo formula and of Hollywood at the time, and finding out what makes it such a forgotten classic. Before we get into the movie, I want to get this out of the way. Nothing in this movie has anything to do with any Scooby series. It is hinted, however, that the game are actors and all of Scooby-Doo Where Are You is just an in-universe Saturday morning cartoon. And just for the case of this movie, we will say that is true, but it's probably not, because we don't know, as this movie was more of a love letter to everyone who's ever worked on Scooby-Doo during this time, and it does such a great job at that. Sure, there's no true villain, even though some say Shaggy is, but we'll find that out later. And with that said, let's get into this retrospective on this classic movie. During this time, Hanna-Barbera made a ton of primetime television specials with a bunch of their cartoons, and one thing that they all had in common, and that most point out about this Scooby special, which is also the only primetime special that they made for Scooby-Doo at this time, is that they all have random placements of bouncing fluid animation instead of the low-quality snip animation that we're used to, which is a big reason people remember this one. Alright, let's get into this Scooby-Doo feature. Our special begins like any other Scooby mystery, with a creepy aesthetic and Scooby and Shaggy in a haunted mansion, being attacked by a giant crabby monster who sticks them in a trapdoor, and off they go through the movie set in a barrel. Yep, all of this was part of them filming their Saturday morning cartoon.
I have returned.
Discussing their scripts, you see the boys land, with Shaggy being tired of always doing the same routine every episode.
And I think Chris left because I kept leaving.
In our first of many musical scenes, Shaggy and Scooby are going throughout different movie sets, so everyone will remember Scooby-Doo. They even reference a later Scooby-Doo that isn't even Scooby-Doo in a few minutes. We get our title without the news, which was added as the name of the special on home releases. So instead of Scooby-Doo Goes Hollywood,
Ah.
Scooby Goes Hollywood. The boys head over to Network Office with everyone to interact with along the way, noticing Scooby as the celebrity that he is, much to Shaggy's surprise. Shaggy becomes Scooby's agent for disappointing the network president, and he tells Scooby all the right things to say as they enter, with the president going crazy over Scooby. Scooby-Doo! Scooby-Doo! Shaggy talks with CJ as Scooby tries and fails to set up the film reel titled How Scooby Won the West, an obvious take on how the West was won in 1962 Western. In Scooby's Western, him and his partner Shaggy are putting up wanted posters when the guy on the wanted posters shows up and attacks Sheriff Scooby. And of course, Scooby runs off the set on a horse, destroying the entire film set. And CJ's whole mood swings as he this special was being made way before the Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo show in the mid-1970s. And also, as we'll see later, some of the background music and the end credits are the same as the Scooby-Doo and the Scrappy-Doo backing track to the special. Shaggy reassures the gang because Scooby will be playing so many cool roles, but the gang still don't like the idea. We then go to a roller rink to shoot another pilot with Lavon called Lavon and Scooby, which is again a pun on Laverne and Shirley. There are a series of the time. They begin filming, but Scooby isn't the best in skates. But they do make it work for a bit until he flies off and flies back on into Lavon. And the camera crew with the gang watching all this happen. And so Shaggy and Scooby go back to CJ, telling him the pilot didn't really work out. But they have another one to show him. Scooby Days. I wonder what this one is referring to. And we get sent back to the 50s where the Scoob meets the Groove and have a dance off with the Groove's voice actor Frank Welker singing our next song. You look like an OG Goose.
I'm bad.
This one is fine, but it overstays its welcome to get money. Scooby becomes a hot shot just to break the chick box, and CJ cannot believe this, so he excuses himself. Scooby's fine about going back to his old show, but Shaggy's now obsessed and takes over showing CJ a contract which he destroys once they leave. After that, Shaggy sets Scooby up to talk with the celebrities at a fancy restaurant, so Scooby, all dressed up, goes in and wrecks the place, because one, he's a dog, and two, food. CJ hears about it in the paper.
I am not happy.
Now Shaggy is desperate, so he makes Scooby go to the Hollywood pool to do some tricks for attention, and of course, that didn't work. Back at the gang's dressing room, they're reminiscing on Scooby and wishing he would come back to the show and we get some more lore about how the gang got Scooby, which, unless we only attach a special to Scooby Rory in the Scooby-Doo show, it's not him. We didn't see the gang getting Scooby from the pet store and his first birthday party with some fun scenes. Fun fact here, besides the fact that Frank Welker voices the young Scooby in these scenes, which, as we all know, he voices Scooby-Doo years later. We also see a Shaggy looking dog that Shaggy throws some shade to. And this could be me overthinking it, but this dog definitely resembles the Archie's dog character, and Scooby-Doo's original design was gonna be that, so it could be a reference. After a little nostalgia test for the game, we get one as we go into our next, for some reason, used to be my favorite song in the special, Scooby-Doo, We're Missing You, which is really just the new Scooby-Doo movies backing track with new lyrics. But the real reason I like this one, and also for the sake of our theory, is when I first got to Scooby, I didn't have much Scooby-Doo content, so seeing all the clips of Scooby-Doo really helped with the lack of Scooby-Doo media back then. And yeah, this whole song is just a bunch of clips of Scooby-Doo, but this could mean, here's my theory, Scooby-Doo, Where Are You in the Scooby-Doo show were all part of the in-universe Saturday morning cartoon that the gang in this universe acted. But it's just a theory.
But who would have thought Scooby would blow Hollywood up?
Scooby is starting to break due to Shaggy trying way too hard to make him become a star. And Scooby falls asleep and gets a crazy fever dream in which Scooby becomes a star and goes to the premiere of two of his movies. The Superman movie where Scooby is the superhero protecting the big city. Yes, the same big city from Scooby and Dynamite video here. And The Sound of Scooby, which in a very funny scene, Scooby falls to his death and wakes up from his dream turned to nightmare. Scooby wakes up and Shaggy goes to call CJ, and Scooby gets stuck in a concrete slab when he was trying to put his name in. And CJ tells Shaggy that they're doing auditions for dogs to replace Scooby. So Shaggy and Scooby in the concrete slab go over to the auditions. Once they get there, they hide out in the back, laughing over how silly this whole thing is, until a dog actually gets hired.
You're hired.
not over. We have a disco music video type thing, and it's great. From the songs to the animation to the visuals to literally everything about it. It's amazing for 1979 animation. Jackie then skips along to the next reader, the love ship, where we see Captain Scooby on his ship as they set off, but he didn't untie the rope. So they take the dog with them, and CJ cuts them off there. And his men come in to give a solution, and CJ actually likes it. So Scooby goes onto the talk show to confirm that he's been replaced. His fans listening in. Jackie tells everyone Scooby's gonna be a star and all that, but his fans aren't happy that he's leaving. So all the children around the world protest. Jackie and Scooby come back to see one more film, Scooby's Angels, which of course is Charlie's Angels, where we see Scooby's Angels find the criminal hideout of Scooby parachuting down to hell until the actual Scooby watching it yells cut with CJ agreeing, telling Scooby that he should go back to his Saturday morning cartoons. Shaggy wants the big time. CJ reassures them that they already are the big time, opening his glass door and showing all the fans in the game outside chanting for him to come back. Scooby is so happy CJ asks him to come back. What an actual heartfelt ending. I really enjoyed it. Shaggy isn't done with CJ yet though, because what's better than Scooby? Shaggy!
Right, I just want to my pilot, CJ. More than Shaggy.
CJ is left speechless, and Shaggy gets kicked out just as the rest of the gang leave in the mystery machine, and Shaggy chases after him, being covered in his own film reels. And that's Scooby-Doo Goes Hard. It's amazing. Sure, it's kind of repetitive and a little corny, and of course, it's not really a Scooby-Doo film, but I like it for what it is. It's an amazing love letter to the franchise at this time, showing how far they got and how much the fans really do care about Scooby-Doo. I remember in the beginning of the video when I said there's actually a villain, well, the Scooby community thinks that it could be Shaggy, and I definitely agree. Shaggy manipulates Scooby throughout the whole film and makes him do stuff he really doesn't want to do, and it's super obvious upon rewatch. But I guess the movie wouldn't be what it is without Shaggy doing some pretty evil stuff, like making Scooby leave the game and making all his fans really upset with it, all for fun, which makes him really unlikable in itself. On top of that, this film is super meta for the time, being an in-universe version of Scooby-Doo, making cartoons or something. It's pretty crazy, and it kind of talks about the franchise itself, the whole need for change for Scooby, because his show was getting stale and repetitive, which sounds a lot like them and Scrappy's feature a few years before this film for Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo. I highly suggest you watch this one if you haven't already, and I really want to talk about this one on the channel because of how nostalgic it is to me personally, like I said before, with the Scooby-Doo universe, that I really liked. And I also really enjoyed just how different this one is compared to anything else Scooby has made. This special was such a shake-up, and it was a good start to Scooby switching things up during the 80s compared to Ghost of Scooby-Doo, and over the course of the franchise with some strange encounters, which shows how experimental Scooby-Doo can really be. And it shows in our modern era of Scooby-Doo, where HBO and Warner are wiping Scooby from any streaming service, which really shows that we should be with the franchise like the fans were after this movie. Speaking of which, if you made it this far, let's talk about the whole HBO wiping cartoons thing. I was gonna make a video on this, but my guys already did, so check out his video for more detail. But basically, if you don't know, HBO kind of was the hotspot for Scooby content after Hanna-Barbera streaming service got taken a year ago. But now HBO is losing all of the rights to Scooby-Doo for some reason, and a bunch of other cartoons, so Physical Media is definitely your pal for Scooby content right now. Anyways, what do you think of Scooby-Doo Goes Hollywood? Just give it a chance, and don't leave it as a Scooby. This is one of a kind, and that's why I'll put it super high up if you qualify it as a Scooby-Doo. Anything else you want to know in the comments down below? And that'll be it for today's video. So consider subscribing to join this cartoon community, and I'll see you next
Just
time.
making it up a bunch of
See ya.
times.
It's Scooby-Doo
Look at
Goes Hollywood.
that thing the size of a car.
An all-new-to-video feature-length animated movie.
Not like that, but like.
clinically proven antioxidant blend, helping pets live healthier as long as possible. Because you're only human, there's Hills.
How do you find something special when everything looks the same? Check out the Etsy app for one-of-a-kind finds handpicked by real people to make your space feel more.
Early 2000s had a lot of new changes in pop culture. Another thing the early 2000s pop culture was all about was slightly changing old traditions, old fashion trends, old type of music to a new, modern aesthetic. Like a certain dog in this reference. Ah, yes. What's new Scooby-Doo? One of the best things to come out in the early 2000s were many cartoon fans loved this series more than any other Scooby series, surprisingly. But the reason some people really do love What's New Scooby-Doo is just the change of their characters and the different premises, but still staying true to their audience. But is it really as good as we were reported? In 2002, What's New Scooby-Doo aired on the now defunct Warner Bros. Television network, Kids WB. And the big thing about the show is it was the first Scooby-Doo series in over a decade. This time around, the game to a modern redesign featured characters frustrated, clever, and physically exciting talented voice characters, Fred and now Scooby, being Shaggy respectively. Unfortunately, this was Casey Kasem's last series with Shaggy for his TV show. Today, I'll be looking at all 3 seasons of What's New Scooby-Doo and ranking them from worst to best. We'll see iconic and forgotten villains, some pretty cool recurring characters. Let's get started at the bottom of the list with Alright. I see all your hate on this already, right? So before I start with number 42, Ghost Riders, let's get this point across. My opinion is probably always going to be changing. This is just right now what I think of all 42 episodes of Scooby-Doo. Some episodes, even the top ones, they're just really good rewatchable episodes, which is what I'm trying to get to. What episode is the most rewatchable?
No, Emily, I hope you're waiting.
K4 and K5.
The path isn't always easy.
For me, it's about getting 1% better every day.
The road to top isn't always obvious.
The play next year is zero.
But this is where the legacy is made.
Swipe, please.
Hey, you know what I'm in the mood for? A really specific episode of What's New Scooby-Doo that connections you never knew about that we can get into. If you love the Scariest Villains miniseries on the channel, you might even consider this a fun double feature entry in that, because I'd argue that both of these villains fit nicely. One even made it into the museum in Monsters Unleashed, and smashing these eras together might help to transition us away from being stuck in just the classic era for the majority of this year, so we can get groovy in the modern age again. I think you'll like the video coming up after this one as well, as we plant our feet in the future of tomorrow, or maybe the future of a couple decades ago by now, but it's today, and we are here to play sports, something I've never done a day in my life. I'm sure we can figure it out though. Let's get into our first episode we're looking at today. What's New, Scooby-Doo, Season 1, Episode 14, the season finale, originally aired March 22nd, 2003. This episode is titled The Unnatural. Immediately, this is a referential pun deriving from The Natural, the 1952 baseball novel and its 1984 film adaptation. Outside of the eventual complete season set, the episode hit home video first on June 14th, 2005, in the 5th volume DVD for the series, Sports Spooktacular. Each volume would be named after and centered around a specific episode on that volume, and obviously this was chosen to be the face of 5. Like many of you who grew up with this as your current show airing as a kid like myself, I had all the individual volumes including this one, and out of all of them, this is the one that stuck out to me even then. There was something eerie about this guy's design, to the point where I felt naturally drawn to this DVD and watching this episode more frequently despite how bored and disinterested I am in sports normally. I'm sure this episode and the baseball specter would have stuck with me regardless. This cover art really cemented it in my mind forever. It's honestly the first image that comes to mind when I even think of this particular series. It's that iconic to me, and I'm probably not entirely alone, because a decade ago back in 2015, we even got a book adaptation of this episode, despite it being so long after it had aired even at the time. The episode has no shortage of stars either. We'll be getting into one of them more later, but on theme with the sport at hand, Mike Piazza, former all-star baseball catcher, voices himself here in a cameo to start. If you're like me, you might recognize Steve Bloombest as Spike in Cowboy Bebop, and he's both J.P. Page and Steve Powell here. Kathy Griffin is even randomly here as Autumn Summerfield. It all sounds pretty juicy, so let's really dig into this nostalgic event together. The episode opens up at Cookie Company International Park, where absolute beauty patootie Luis Santiago is practicing. He's interrupted by fog that leads to our baseball specter walking out, warning him that everyone will suffer if he tries to break his record. He then starts throwing some fireballs, nearly taking us out with the cold open. A new fresh day, the gang are arriving. Daphne recalling that this used to be called Potter Stadium. Thelma informs her Potter Stadium's 100-year-old foundation gave out and sank into the ground. Cookie Company International Park was built right on top of the old stadium. Fred is super psyched to meet Luis, the best long ball hitter today, according to him. One home run away from beating the all-time record. Scooby sees Mr. Grizz, the Grizzlies team mascot, mistaking it for a real bear who he attacks. The poor guy falling over.
Like usually it takes a lot longer before we're unmasking people.
Thelma recognizes him as J.T. Page, a pitcher on the team. But Daphne recalls him being cut for throwing a burrito at someone in the stands. His only option to stay was to be the mascot. Fred explains he won the Meet Luis Santiago contest, and J.T. points him out. Beauty Patootie is being interviewed by Bob Taylor, whose voice actor is a pretty big deal here. If you watch this episode and he sounds familiar to you, it's because he's John Stevenson, who voiced probably like 90% of the villains in classic Scooby. This was a pretty unique return to the franchise for him, one of his last times before he passed away, and it's kind of amazing to hear his iconic voice in a modern iteration of the series. We have more to say on him throughout the video, so don't forget that. Bob asks Luis about the drought he's in, and Luis says Bob should understand how it goes since he's a former baseball player himself. Fred introduces himself and the gang, and then fanboys all over Luis, while the others understandably ditch. Meanwhile, it seems Shelley, working the concessions, has a crush on Shaggy and gave him some free food, with more to come. As the night game continues, it starts to rain, but this fancy stadium has a retractable roof in place for times like this. Luis doesn't even try to hit the ball on his turn, the fog returning as the baseball specter enters to enact his revenge, blowing the lights out. He throws some fireballs at the gang, and then vanishes into his fog. Luis finally explains what's been going on and why he's been faking his slump, and he believes the ghost belongs to Cap Craig, the all-time home run leader. Autumn Summerfield, his publicist, is not exactly thrilled with the current turn of events, but they are all over the news, and she's hoping to take advantage of that while this is hot. Luis dismisses her while Fred promises to solve the mystery for him. Velma, set on checking out the exploding lights first. The trio secure themselves to ropes to get close to them, finding a generator too small to run the lights, but certainly capable of overloading them if they were already running, hence the exploding. While the boys decide to bury some food for later out in the field, they uncover a hatch that opens up and drops them down. With a flashlight, they realize they're inside the old Potter Stadium that sank into the ground, realizing the specter must be getting around using these tunnels. Seems they are a little too spot on, because their light lands correctly on him, chasing them into a sauna. The trio hear them, but the door is locked, so Fred breaks them out with a baseball bat. The skinny while JP watches. They realize this is where Bob Taylor's actually commentating on the game, having been a player himself. Fred even finding his trading card with the dumbstill attached. Thelma goes over his stats, like how he played 7 seasons, or threw with his left hand, and Fred remembers he was on the same team as Pat Craig. They hear some eerie organ music and find the Spectre at work, laughing at them. We end up in our required musical chase sequence from here, and barely escaping with their lives, Autumn snaps a picture, suggesting she thought they were the Spectre. She says the idea of a picture of Louise and this goes together being great publicity hit her while driving home. Daphne calls her lie on this though, because it's still raining up there, and Autumn's suede shoes were perfectly dry. Speaking of, someone starts opening the retractable roof to let the rain in and ruin the game tomorrow. Side note, this show looked amazing growing up, and it still looks fine on DVD, but watching it in full uncropped HD does not do it any favors. Not only is everyone almost always cross-eyed, but some of these zoomed-in shots do not look great, and I love that. They spot the controls for the roof, but the Spectre, of course, is out there guarding them. As Fred explains his plan, the Spectre wants to know how he factors in as well. They all run out to the roof to escape, and it hits Scooby just how high he is. He tries to make the leap, but it doesn't seem like he's going to reach it, dropping through the air. So Fred grabs one of the ropes and jumps out to give him a safe landing. Thelma messes with the roof, knocking the Spectre down, who grabs onto the rope and falls through the field. They head down to investigate the catacombs together, and Shaggy, hoping to find Pickles, he instead finds baseballs, soaking in kerosene, as in throwing those flaming fastballs. The next day, JP finally quits at the thought of being shot out of a cannon, and Bob Taylor thinks he should be grateful, since he couldn't get a job in baseball when he left. He had all kinds of jobs after to get by, like giving piano lessons and even a dog groomer. Giving an example, they find Louise watching an old film of his idol, Pat Craig. No one notices something from the footage. None of the other players showed up today, so Lee supposes they'll have to forfeit. But Thelma thinks she has the mystery wrapped up. Also, Fred totally has a crush on Louise. He is so down bad at this point. Following his plan, they all stepped in for the missing teammates. Scooby in the mascot suit.
Okay. Are you kidding? What a ham.
Nice callback to her always calling him a ham in the original series. Louise only being one home run away from breaking the record, the Spectre returns with his fireballs. Daphne turns on the sprinklers, flooding it before it can reach him. Shaggy then starts shooting baseballs at him, but also everywhere else. Just as planned, the ghost falls into the cannon. The button doesn't seem to be working. They look in and end up getting shot out with him into the net, but at least they got him. Thelma points up to the screen for the big unmasking, revealing Bob Taylor. Firstly, he revealed earlier that he had given piano lessons, similar to the ghost playing the organ. What really sealed things for Thelma was that Pat Craig was right-handed, as seen in the footage. The ghost is left-handed, just like Bob. Pat was Bob's friend, and he wanted his record to stand forever. Daphne wonders about the suspicious behavior exhibited by Autumn. It turns out she just comes prepared with multiple shoes.
Wow. I thought I was the only one who did that.
Things continuing without haunting now, Chili offers some more free food to Shaggy, and we get our My Piazza cameo.
I came here to see if Louise can break the record.
Would you like some food, Mike?
Sure, what do we got? Actually, I just think...
Louise steps up to the plate and instantly breaks the record, taking his hat off to wave to the meddling kids. And that's The Unnatural. It really does still hold up as a solid episode of this series, with all the best hallmarks. The clues seem obvious enough to figure out without necessarily being incredibly overwhelming. The Spectre has a memorable design that has definitely stuck with me over time, and even with how intimidating he can be, there's still plenty of humor in this episode. Luis isn't necessarily all that special, but I really like his design. Definitely one of the biggest cutie patooties, and he's very likable, which allows us to feel sympathy for his predicament as the Spectre harasses him. I suppose the spirit of a former player isn't exactly original, and we're going to get into that more next, but it's the kind of thing that makes sense. A spirit feeling unrest and not wanting their record being broken definitely warrants haunting, and it's just understandable that it actually turns out to be the best friend rather than the spirit. Bob may have been doing something bad, but in his mind he was protecting the legacy of someone important in his life that's no longer there. I find I feel more sympathy for him than the episode gives him grace for. He's pretty energetic for his age though. It's surprising he can move around so quickly given that we're supposed to believe he's old enough that his best friend is no longer with us, probably because of old age. It's kind of sad that he might end up spending his final years locked away now, his own reputation tarnished. Is this a Bob Taylor defense video? Something I love about the design of the Spectre is that his legs look more like skeleton legs. You can see right through them the same as your leg bones. And I do wonder how Mr. Taylor pulled that off. Having watched so many classic episodes lately, they kind of just spent 5 seconds explaining why he did what he did and his reasoning, but none of the greater details of how, like older episodes often would. To really continue the rest of this conversation though, short as this has been, I do think we need to move on to the second half
Yeah,
of
a little weird.
And guess what? Our sports-related Spectre
More like
in
very
our next
weird,
episode
but-
is also voiced by John Stevenson, just like our Bob Taylor over here. Coincidence? I'm right. 4th, 1976. Here, our sporty ghost in question is the Rambling Ghost, and he certainly is one of the more iconic monsters to be seen in the Scooby-Doo Monsters Unleashed Museum that didn't get heavily featured or brought to life. Some of them, like the Viking Chief from the video 2 Steps Back, aren't quite as seen or known. But the Rambling Ghost here actually had a full feature on the DVD museum tour that I remember growing up with, and he certainly should be ranked among our scariest villains just for his animated design. But the skeletal way he's brought to life in Monsters Unleashed honestly makes him even scarier with how realistic it looks. This is not an episode I got to grow up with, so I hadn't seen it at the time and was unfamiliar with him, knowing only this design for a lot of my youth. For me, it makes him one of the most memorable to look at in this museum. But what's also notable about the Rambling Ghost is, just like Bob Taylor was voiced by a triumphantly returning John Stevenson, he also voices the Rambling Ghost here. And with how many connections these two episodes have, though without Drew, it really makes me think that his noteworthy casting in that What's New episode was a direct reference to the Rambling Ghost specifically, in addition to all of his other iconic villain roles. And even if it wasn't intentional, it still happened anyway. And I think it makes the unnatural even better and more memorable, more significant to have this amazing tie. And there are more ties as well as we get into the quarterback episode, even despite the sports being different in the episodes. Let's get into this classic together. We open it again with a stadium, this time for football, for the gang are here cheering for the Hawks. Scooby tries to lead a yell, ends up falling over here, and then gets shot into the trash. While the others cheer for star player Flash Ranger, Scooby meets our Rambling Ghost.
You should not
Others,
use
but nobody gets it.
your
Flash does
fucking
his big one with a
disability
touchdown,
as
resulting in
a
fireworks.
sense of,
Once
well,
again, the mascot flies in, which
that's
seems a
not
little excessive
okay,
since
let's
instead
not
of
do
Flash
that.
is being carried off by his teammates. That is, until this smoke rolls in, kind of like the fog in
You
the
could
Unnatural.
simply excuse
When it
yourself,
passes,
you don't need to
Flash
blame
is nowhere to be
a
seen.
disorder.
The mascot
Not a
flies
disorder,
off.
but
They
you
hear
know.
terrifying laugh and look up to see the Rambling Ghost, threatening as Scoop says, "I told you so," and then vanishing into thin air. The police found nothing, and Velma states the obvious of the ghost being related to Flash's disappearance. Obviously, that means we have a mystery, so they head to see Mr. Prentice, the owner of the Hawks. He explains that in the 30s, a player already called the Rambling Ghost when he was alive cursed the stadium after being booed off the field. The dude was never seen again after that, until tonight Mr. Prentice believes certain he's the ghost. Sure would be ironic since the name came in life.
Like we better ramble before the Rambler gets us.
Mr. Prentice says the ghost took Flash because it's impossible for them to win without him. He worries that he'll be wiped out with how frightened fans are. The next night, they investigate the area where Flash vanished, and another player says they should leave. The ghost says that's Flash's replacement, Crunch Connors, so the suspicious girls go to talk to him, but he just vanishes into thin air, and who does appear? The Rambling Ghost, obviously. The boys run the opposite way and lose him, so everyone splits up to look for clues.
I'm doing okay.
Let's get the training room, Scooby on the lockers. Finally, he realizes he saw the ghost and checks again, finding nothing. But while helping Shaggy, the ghost pops out to screw with him more just as Shaggy
Okay,
finds
dude,
some
I don't give a
newspaper.
shit
The
if
ghost
you
tries
ask
to
a
retrieve
weird
what she
question.
calls his, but they ride off into the steam room.
I get
The
so
house
much
starts
weird
to
shit
sound
all
familiar.
the fucking time. I
After the
really
shower,
don't
things
care.
come back out normal.
I do care when people are like, well, I have this, so that's not an excuse.
And they tell them about the newspaper and ghosts. When they want to leave and Fred asks if their babies, well,
Take fucking accountability whether you have that or not. It does not matter.
Scooby stick his nose around the scoreboard
It
room
does
to
not
check, and
equal
he does
to
check it. Find the
shit.
man, though. They specifically find Mr. Ellsworth, the scoreboard operator, disheveled like the room. He says the Rambling Ghost attacked him, and they think he's come back, but it turns out to be another player who came to see about his name being spelled right and hid when he saw the Phantom. They head back to the field to recreate Crunch's
I gave you
disappearance.
grace already.
Scooby
You don't need to sit there and be like, well, I did this.
Right into Vanishment,
No.
and then he pops back again, and until they realize there's a trap door.
That's not how that
which
works.
explain outright
Taking
vanishing
accountability, that's not how that works.
What's down there?
What she means besides you, Scoop?
They find tunnels, which makes sense to them, as Mr. Prentice apparently said the stadium was built over the old one. Sound familiar? Yeah, the Unnatural is very much a mirror to
Okay.
this episode.
Why can't we say we
I don't give a fuck.
They split up in two different tunnels.
If I gave a fuck, that'd be real concerning.
Ladies first. What are you, a scaredy-cat?
They come upon a dead end, but there's a ladder, and they uncover the old dusty wall of fame, closed down when the new stadium was built. They get a super shock when they find the Rambling Ghost right there at the desk, doing something with the newspaper from earlier. Upon Velma suggesting
Dude,
someone
I
did
straight
it,
up
they
didn't
find
give
a
a
case of honor.
shit.
Scooby loses in a game of rock, paper, scissors
You,
to make it
you
fair.
one,
He
you
does his
snitch
best
on
to scoot
yourself.
over and use
Two,
his tail to
you
make
fucking
sure
blaming
others
something
giving signals, ultimately getting
that
the
had
newspaper
nothing
with
to do
the
with the
tail
question.
ends crushing him. The Jolt sends the paper into Velma's hands anyway, resulting in a chase that ends with them falling through a trap door. The spook laughs as he locks them in. Flash not there. Selma pulls a Fred and sits Scooby in a canvas bag, stuffs some air in, and pops it with a hairpin, shooting Scooby through the trapdoor and allowing him to get a rope. They present the newspaper to Mr. Prentice, who recognizes himself and the coach with the rest of their old coaching staff in the circled photo. But he's had no idea about the relevance. They have the paper say the players disappearing was a publicity stunt and practice is continuing to lure out the ghost. The boys dressed up as Flash and Crunch. Fred shows them their trick football that will inflate itself if they can get it down the ghost's shirt, and it seems the ghost is right on time. The boys run right into him, catch the football which Shaggy stuffs into Scooby's shirt for later, and then start driving all over the field. Unfortunately, they drive right into a truck, falling right into Ghost's hands for a second, because they drive back out with him now on the back. He escapes through the exit, and the boys land in the shark float where the ghost happened to hide. So Scoob stuffs the football in his shirt, and it inflates his plan, blowing him over onto the field, and the float drives over, catching him finally. Mr. Prentice joins for the unmasking, shockingly revealing Mr. Ellsworth, the scoreboard operator. It's a double unmasking, though, revealing Puck Bender under this one of the former coaches in that newspaper photo who Mr. Prentice had fired, which he wanted revenge for. The player earlier had seen him duck in as Ellsworth to take an attack. He had used smoke from the fireworks to hide.
I straight up didn't even register that you had asked a weird question. You straight up snitched on yourself, dude. You straight up snitched on yourself. I didn't even register it.
Count on exploding and flying over here again, then shooting over for his grand finale.
Also, you not caring about weird questions does not give anybody the right or the fucking balls to sit there and ask weird shit on purpose. Fuck all the way off. Like, I don't like that. Hi! Long time no see, girl. How are you?
Various players of the team vanishing gives him credibility for being potentially dangerous instead of just being a freak as well. And now watching them
I
back to
gotta
back,
lose
you can see why a
fucking
lot of people
hair.
consider the unnatural to sort of be a remake of this episode, just with the sport switched around. They even have the same reveal about the stadium being built over the old land, looking around the remains.
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Literally the exact same thing. There are a lot of differences between the episodes, but there really are a lot of interesting similarities as well, even beyond that. It would be one thing for one or two similarities, given that sports stories would tend to be similar by nature, but these two really are feeling like total deja vu makes it a lot harder to deny how intentional it was as a tribute. And I think that makes the inclusion of John Stevenson, voice of the Rambling Ghost, all the more noteworthy in the unnatural. The reveal of who the ghost is this time works well enough. We need Ellsworth to set him up, and we know that the newspaper is important and that someone in the photo is probably a likely suspect when you see it circled, but the double reveal helps add some additional shock value. There are a lot of free gags in the episode as well. I've laughed several times, like when Fred closes the locker after pulling Shaggy out, not realizing Scooby is there until after he closes it. I also really like the fairly long sequence of Scooby trying to get the newspaper from the ghost. It has both tension and humor pulled off well. Even with my disinterest in sports, this is another one that does well to hold my attention, so I would say you really can't go wrong with a double feature of both. The only thing I question this time is why Mr. Prentice just lets the gang into his home and tells them all that history. They really must be famous mystery solvers in this world. There really isn't too much more to say about this one though. When it comes to a lot of the classic episodes, it really is about how interesting the ghost is. Well, I think that wraps us up for the moment. Hopefully now that we've looked at these together, you can see why they make such a good double feature when paired up like this. Even though I've watched both of these episodes
Yeah,
over and over,
I keep stopping to work on
such
stuff, but
similarities, and that the unnatural was such a tribute to the Rambling Ghost episode. But when you think about it, it really does actually make sense.
you have to remember I was groomed.
And still including the voice of the Rambling Ghost, especially someone as iconic as John
I have been abused and assaulted, and yeah, there's been so many stuff that if I sat here and actually like broke it all down, we would be in tears. I wouldn't say groomed. I might say groomed. There's a lot of blurry lines. So yeah, don't wish more girls were like me because they probably were sexually assaulted.
Something new again, while still keeping some of the bones. Pun intended this time, like the underground stadium. The baseball structure also really looks nothing like the Rambling Ghost, only having skeletal legs that might somewhat be arguable. And I think that also really helps set them apart as their own special entities, because both of them have equally stuck in my mind without
Kill
really
yourself.
relating them. Maybe I just conflated the two episodes in my head when it came to the details and never thought any different, given that there are so many episodes of Scooby over the decades anyway. If you haven't seen one of these episodes in a while, or shockingly, if you haven't seen one of them at all, how do you do check them both out? They easily are both standout episodes from the first seasons of their respective series for me. I think that about wraps us up though this time. If you like reminiscing about the scariest villains of Scooby, I've got a whole playlist of videos that might do something similar for you in the same vein. Coming up after this, I've got another double feature that you might enjoy if you like this one. Plenty of other recent videos that you might want to check out. The Viking video kind of flopped really bad. Wherever you decide to land, I'll see
No, it's fine. I joke about it a lot.
Lesson number 1. Rob's Club, New York. Vanilla, sandalwood, and perhaps the most unexpected of all, blackcurrant. Complex, highly sensual. See you at the club.
Lowe's knows value means more than just a low price. That's why we offer a full line of Whirlpool appliances built to last. Reliable, efficient, and always ready to perform. Quality from Whirlpool. Everyday value from Lowe's. Shop Labor Day deals at Lowe's. We help, you save.
Thinking I'll go outside and get a breath of fresh air. I want fresh air, but not 1,000 feet of it.
Hey, welcome to Scooby-Topia. It's February as of upload. I had this script already pretty well thought out when I realized there would be no better time to go ahead and push it through for release so we can talk about a very special series this month.
I think we've got it flat.
Yeah, flat tire and a flat basketball. Okay, let's fix the flat. But we've never fixed a flat before. So, we've never fixed a bridge before either. Gee, I never thought of it that way. That's why I am your leader. I think of those things.
Over the years, Scooby-Doo has met a lot of kind people and characters, especially on the series The New Scooby-Doo Movies. Cass Elliot was my favorite personally, which I've already discussed before, as well as a certain dynamic duo we'll be taking a look at real soon. But some of my top favorite episodes of this series were the Harlem Globetrotters episodes. Like many, I had the separate release Scooby-Doo meets the Harlem Globetrotters released on DVD and VHS in 2003. It contained 2 of the
I
3
got
parts of
Face
episodes,
Paint
and
like this
eventually
one.
the best of. I don't know what it is exactly, but there's something so lovely about these 3 episodes in particular, and I can never seem to get enough of them with zero sense of irony toward them. What is ironic is that I don't know a thing about sports, or who the Globetrotters actually are, or anything relevant here outside Scooby. Watching sports anime is about as far as I go. With that said, let's sit back and look at the history and fun of when Scooby-Doo met the Harlem Globetrotters.
Don't go away. We'll be back in a moment with more exciting fun.
Harlem Globetrotters was a Hanna-Barbera series which premiered in 1970, a show that was fairly revolutionary at the time, being the first Saturday morning cartoon series to feature a predominantly African-American cast as the leads. Filmation's The Hardy Boys and Hanna-Barbera's Josie and the Pussycats, another favorite of mine, would also feature African-American characters that same TV season.
I'm gonna head out. Love y'all.